Heads Up.
I'm Bill O'Reilly. Now it's time for No Spin Zone.
No spin zone! No spin zone!
The jerk cartoonist at Heads Up were asked by the YouTube Citizen Tube to do the interview with the Citizen Tube, but they ain't cartoons, so they'll have to do it live. They'll do it live! They'll do it live!
Hi, I'm John Shea, the founder of Headzup Entertainment. Headzup is actually a two-man operation. While I plot the company's strategy and partnerships from my home here in Seattle, Washington, Headzup's comedian and cartoonist, Matthew Filipovich, writes and directs and animates Headzup's daily cartoon from his home in Chicago. Here's a quick introduction from Matthew.
Hello, I'm Matthew Filipovich from Headzup Entertainment.
In order to give the best insight into Headzup, Matthew and I decided to divide up today's questions. Matthew is going to be addressing the questions related to style and animation, whereas I'll be addressing the questions related to market trends and vision. So you'll be hearing back from Matthew very shortly. But before I continue, I would like to take a moment to thank YouTube's News and Politics desk for inviting Headzup to participate in the Citizen Tube project. Furthermore, I would like to thank everyone at Google and YouTube for enabling citizen media and making it possible for millions of people around the world to enjoy Headzup. The idea of Headzup first came to me while I was working to build 3G wireless networks in several countries across the globe. What I witnessed was a new cellular technology that made it possible for users to send short video clips from cell phone to cell phone the same way they would a picture message. Everyone is familiar with the idea of text messaging from cell phone to cell phone, and many of you have already experimented with taking a picture with your cell phone and sending it to a friend. What fewer people are familiar with is that the same phones that can take a picture and send it to a friend can also record a short video clip that you can send to a friend. But rather than using the global cellular network as a friend-to-friend messaging platform, Headzup turned that upside down and thought of creating the world's first political cartoon that people can download or transfer to their cell phones and then send it to a friend. So once a Headzup clip is downloaded from our website onto your cell phone, you can freely forward those clips to a friend, and that friend can then forward it to a friend, and a friend can forward it to a friend. So very quickly, Headzup became a very viral political cartoon that is now viewed by people throughout the world.
I think our style was developed from two main factors, both of them having to do with time. The first is, generally speaking, our clips are under 30 seconds in length. So we have to pretty much establish what news story it is and then hopefully make some kind of joke after it. And so when you're working under, you can't say a lot in 30 seconds. So we learned really quick to cut out pretty much anything that wasn't necessary and try to cram in as much as we can in that short amount of time. So I think that has a lot to do with the comedic style of it. It's really kind of quick. It's just like you establish the story and then hopefully have some kind of punchline after it. The other thing is the visual style, which is also dramatically influenced by time. Even your basest form of animation is extremely time consuming. And so our animation is pretty minimalistic. There's not a whole lot of movement going on, and that again is by time because we publish 5 days a week. They're all current event stories, but I think it works pretty well. I think the animation makes you kind of focus more on what's being said instead of wowing you with some kind of Pixar-like visuals. I think it works pretty well for us. How do we put an episode together? Generally speaking, I wake up around 1 in the afternoon and I immediately start drinking. Not really. The hardest part to put an episode together is actually the writing, which means I have to follow the news, I watch the blogs, The news sites, I watch cable news, which I suggest you avoid at all costs. Then I look for a story that either makes me laugh or makes me angry. Then after that, I try to think, can I make that story into something in 30 seconds or less? Then you write a script, then you time the script, then usually the script will be longer than the allotted time, so you have to cut out some words or a couple sentences or two. Then you record the dialogue in audio, then you edit the audio, then you export the audio, then you import the audio into Flash, then you build the backgrounds, you make the characters, you make any props that might be in the animation, then you animate it, then you render it, then you re-render it as a different format, then you upload it, and then you blog it. Trust me, it's as exciting as it sounds. Favorite Heads Up? Man, that's like asking which one of your 400 children do you love the most. Probably my favorite still at the moment is probably the McCain rap. I think it's pretty funny. I still laugh when I watch it, so that's a good thing.
Hello, my friends, my homies. If you don't mind, I'm going to try to kick it old school. M to the C to the king, that's me. I'm a grumpy old man straight out of DC. The Straight Talk Express is shiny and slick, where I built up my rep as a maverick.
I think it was the comedian Robin Williams, when asked if satire is dead, replied, "Satire isn't dead. It's alive and living in the White House." The reality is George Bush and the current administration, from a satirist point of view, truly are the gift that just keeps on giving. However, I don't think George Bush being in the White House fully explains the explosion of political satire that we're seeing on the internet today. Instead, I think Americans are starting to see satire and comedy in general as actually a way of getting a glimpse of the truth. Mainstream media and the traditional news outlets seem to be very adept at getting the truth wrapped around their collective axles and distorting it to such a degree that it's very difficult for people to actually see the story or see the truth within the story. I think the success of satire shows such as The Daily Show with Jon Stewart and The Colbert Report point to the fact that college students and others are starting to recognize that through satire they get a glimpse of what's actually going on, what the truth is behind the story. And I think that's what drove Rolling Stones magazine to declare Jon Stewart the most trusted name in the news. Furthermore, I think the explosion is also being driven by the fact that satirists throughout the globe, through the use of technology such as YouTube and Google, have the ability to voice their satire to a worldwide audience. In a nutshell, YouTube and the internet have made citizen media possible at a reasonable price. The idea that an entrepreneur in Seattle can team up with a cartoonist comedian in Chicago and create a political cartoon for the internet and cell phones that has been viewed by millions of people was unheard of 10 years ago. But the reality is that through YouTube and the internet, millions of people now have a way to participate in a global mass medium.
My main piece of advice for a budding political satirist would be probably just to do it, man. If you have something to say, say it. The best way to learn to do anything is by doing it. And then, don't put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect when you're first starting out. Make something and then try to make the next thing better and the next thing better and the next thing after that even better. And just keep on repeating that process until you die. We hope you laugh, we hope you enjoy it, and then we hope you share it with your friends. And if your friends don't laugh and they don't enjoy it, we hope you get new friends.